it was indoctrination into a sociopath's secluded world. As a little kid, every day was, how do I tiptoe around this monster and not be a victim? And we're not talking about just physical. We're not talking about just physical. We're talking about every type of imaginable abuse that you can possibly go through in life. And yes, I know what you're thinking, and anybody listening out there, all the horrible things that you're thinking of, myself, my sister, and my mother were subjected to it. And there was absolutely nothing we could do.
Welcome to Coffee, Conversations, and Badasses podcast. I'm your host, Dustin Hayes. We bring you heroic stories from badass people who overcame mental health, addiction, relationship, and business struggles. The road to success doesn't come easy, but these badasses didn't quit. The heroic stories are told with the hopes of saving lives and to let you know you're not alone during these difficult times. And the show wouldn't be made possible without our sponsors, Red, White, and Badass Brew, Coffee as Bold as American Spirit, and Go Man Go Productions. Your vision is our mission because we see it too. I'll introduce my next guest, Danny Caballero. He is the host of the Security Halt podcast, the editor-in-chief of the Sit Rep, a mental health magazine, and he's a special forces warrant officer, combat vet, and just a super chill dude. Now our guest, Denny, how the hell are you doing, buddy?
I'm good, brother. Thank you for having me today. This is awesome.
Absolutely, man. Thank you for coming, man. So how do you start your day off, man? What's your morning routine like?
Dude, lately I have a brand new puppy, so my morning routine is wake up, make sure she goes to the bathroom, and then wait for my wife to bring me an amazing cup of fresh brewed coffee. And then we spend just chill 15 minutes of time together drinking that coffee. And that is something that I highly recommend anybody that's married. If you're constantly waking up and you're just snapping in the go mode, dog, roll back that alarm just 15, 20 minutes earlier and enjoy 15 minutes with your wife or significant other. That is fucking amazing.
That's something I don't hear too often.
No, man. Everybody has I'm not talking shit about Walter Goggins, but everybody expects to hear this message of the first thing you do is you wake up, you go downstairs, you slap somebody and you tell them they're a piece of shit and you go outside and you run 42 miles. No, bro. No, wake up, prayer, meditation, get your coffee, show somebody that you love them, be able to sit there and look at your wife and fuck, I love you. You're amazing. I choose to wake up every morning with you. And I am so fucking better as a man because I have you in my life. 15 minutes. I can do 15 minutes every morning. And as soon as she starts getting ready for work, it's time to work out. But I started my day off being able to say, I love you to someone I deeply care about and being connected and just being able to say, all right, yeah, we're going to have this. Today it was storming, raining and windy. We just open up the curtains, drink our coffee, see the storm. Just be all right, as soon as that dies down, I'm going to go out, do the walk, my dogs, and do my workout. But yeah, being able to do that first thing in the morning, bro, life-changing. Life-changing.
You took the words out of my mouth. I was going to literally say life-changing because we're in a society of fast, and fast.
Yeah.
Wake up, go, you need to start working, which I think is bullshit. I think we need to go slow it down,
bro. I did that
because we're missing definitely important aspects in our life. Like you just said, spend time with your wife, man. Like, how many people really spend time with their wife in the morning? They wake up, they do whatever the thing they're going to do, roll out of bed, ninja roll out of bed, and
hit the ground
now
running.
The day starts. Yeah, exactly. Like, slow it down,
bro.
Treasure those moments, because tomorrow that moment might not be there.
Oh yeah, we don't. Anybody that's served, anybody's been in the military, you've been doing the same thing every morning. I know you are, because I was there with you. The alarm goes off and it's boom, get up, get ready, go. Get in that vehicle. If you live off post, get to post, get ready for PT, get in it. What have you done for yourself? Maybe you listen to one podcast that's good and healthy. Maybe you listen to one motivational thing on the way there. But the reality is you're not even awake. Dog, you're not even awake, and you're already 3 hours, 4 hours ahead planning out your day. No, dude, go to bed earlier. Wake up earlier. Be able to wake up, be intentional in what you're doing. It's going to change your life. I was tired of living that life. Like, you wake up constantly, boom, ready to do it, because that's what you're trained to do. When you're downrange and you're deployed, when you're in a combat scenario, you're not waking up like, let me drink some coffee. Let me go check on the echoes and check on the Bravo. Hey, what's up, dude? It's like, no, fuck no.
Let me take my dog for a walk.
You ain't doing that shit. You're fucking having to go. And that's what's needed. That's exactly what's needed. If you're at the most elite of the elites, if you're working in a tier 1 unit, if you're doing something that is so important that you have to be able to snap awake and get to work, completely understandable. That's the thing. We're not saying one thing's better, one thing's not. Like, no, but when your time is done, when you're done with that life, be able to transition, be able to walk away from that and put love and priority and importance back into things that really are going to be there for you, your family, your loved ones.
And we're gonna resonate that here in a minute. We're gonna really bring that out. Because we don't grow up where, well, actually that's a lie. We do. Usually kids are like, when you wake them up, like, boom, 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 wake them up, get ready, breakfast, get ready for school, blah, 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 and shove them out the door. And I think you just gave me something that I want to start implementing in my life. Is now I'm going to wake my kids a little early and get them up and spend that quality time. I do spend that quality time with them, and I walk them to school. And they hate it. My kids hate it. They complain every single time. And I tell them, yeah, you know why I walk you to school? Because I love to hear you complain. But I go, you know what? It wouldn't be the same in the mornings without you complaining, because I love you guys. And that little bit of moments I cherish that, because I just get to spend with them, talk to them, and they love it, but hate it. They hate the walking, the physical aspect of it, but they love the, interpersonal time they're getting with me. So how did you grow up? Like, where did you grow up? And how was it, man? Like, where did you grow up?
Dog, you sure you want to go into this? We have enough time.
We have enough time, man. We have.
And I will audience warning. I don't have the story or the typical Americana story. I'm not even American by birth. I'm American by choice. I was born in Panama, Central America. I had a beautiful family. And it's always like stereotypical large Hispanic Latino families. Like, yeah, I had aunts, had uncle, grandmother, grandfather, people in my life that loved me and cherished me. What I didn't have was a mother and father, biological mother and father, that were responsible adults, that were, in a happy marriage. My biological father met my wife while he was already with somebody else, had 2 kids. And then after I was in the picture, he's like, I think I want to go back to this lady. So that left my mom as a young single mother. And in our culture, you got to have a husband. That wasn't, so that led to my mom always being absent So we were raised by our aunts. We were raised by our grandparents. My sister and I.
Why was your mom absent? Was she just like out dating, trying to find a husband?
Out hustling, trying to do her own life? Because you can't date or meet available men when you're dragging around 2 kids from a previous marriage. So I sympathize with that now. I do understand that she didn't have a proper framework of how to be a good parent. But that led my mom to do a lot of horrible stuff and meeting some less than reputable individuals. I mean, we were latchkey kids. We were dropped off, like I said, in relatives' house. But that's where I was able to really have my first anchors of like what it means to be loved as a kid. Like when you go see a doctor, when you're dealing with trauma, PTSD, he started asking you like, hey, when did you remember being loved and cared for? And I always, the only framework I had was as a little kid in Panama with my aunts, specifically my Aunt Gabby. And so that was the only time I felt valued, loved, wanted. She always wanted a boy, but didn't have any boys. She had 2 girls. Then my biological mom, after the invasion of Panama in December of 1989, Operation Just Cause kicks off. I was 5 years old. And that was my first taste of warfare because I saw that as a kid. I was rushed in the middle of the night from our home to our grandma's and grandfather's home that lived, they were above the city. So kind of like on a elevated like plateau area, you can see and look down and see the city, and then you could just hear everything, all the chaos going on. And it was happening during Christmas. So there's a lull in the firefight, there's a lull in all the explosions, and we have, our Christmas we're opening presents and everything. And then it was just a symphony of small arms and explosions down in the city, of course, and nothing relatively close, but you're hearing this, your family's panicking, and you're bringing all the kids get brought inside, and we're just like terrified. Power gets cut off. You don't know what's going on. And then a few more days of that. And then finally, all that settles down. Aunts, my uncle, they all go out into the city proper to see, the chaos, see what happened, what's the result. And it's a lot of destruction. I think these days you look up and say that, the United States didn't do anything on Christmas. Oh, the fuck they did. They most certainly did. It was a lot. So that brought a new thing into our world. And that was a lot of single American service members. I remember my mom going on dates with, a bunch of different guys. And it's like, what I didn't realize. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
So you said a bunch of single American soldiers.
Yeah.
We're at war with Panama.
Yeah.
And these women are like, well, might as well date a single
100%.
American man. Like that psychology is mind boggling. Like we're in their territory. We're invading their personal space.
Yeah.
Just maybe not, too close, but close enough where you can hear the war actively going on.
We have to remember at that time in Panama, we already had 2 active duty bases. I forget, Fort Clayton and one other one. So U.S. troops have always been down there. And immediately after the invasion only lasts maybe a month and a half. After that, it's peacekeeping. It's winning the hearts and minds. Dude, one of the greatest psyops things that I experienced as a civilian kid was instantly I had access to US cartoons and TV. Dog, Airwolf comes on today. I am taking back through time and I'm like rocking out to the intro. The music, priceless. Still have it on my workout playlist, dog. It stays with you. A-Team. Overnight, we have access to American TV, American media news. And that's a big psychological warfare project. You're giving the American people American influence for free. And it was just like, I was just hooked, all the cartoons and everything. But meanwhile, things are going back to normal in Panama, and you're seeing lots of events to bring the Panamanian populace back into the fold with American troops. And my mom starts dating a few, and then ultimately she meets a man named William Lee Doogan, who we didn't know this at all. We didn't know the extent of his predatory behavior, but talking to my sister and going back and dissecting it, because I'm in the middle of writing my own autobiography. He didn't make contact with my mom first. He saw us as kids in the playground. He approached us. My sister is 2 years older than me, so she remembered this a lot more. This man was a predator, a complete child predator, and he saw a vulnerable woman that was single, looking for somebody to help take care of her kids, to be a father figure, to be a husband. And in a matter of a few months, this is the man that's constantly in our life. And I mean, instantly, I mean, we start having, you know, a small few glimpses of how truly abusive this man is. I mean, like, I remember, you know, any kid, I think I was 6 or 7, I didn't want to take the trash out. That was the first time Bill literally beat me with an inch of my life in front of my mom. And because of how manipulative and how just saccharine sweet he was to her, he was able to just con her and no, like, I was doing my best to help, you know, give your son some discipline. You know, you have no right to pick up a 6-year-old kid and beat him with an inch of his life with a cowboy belt. Like, that's not reality. And normal people wouldn't dream of doing that, but that was his normal function. And he continued to wine and dine with my mom and had promised her that he was extremely wealthy, lived in the best, wonderful home that he could imagine. I mean, he would, because you have to imagine, he's got to sell us that what we have in Panama is nowhere near as amazing as what he has in the United States. My mom's got her own house, 2-story home. We have, a wonderful supportive family. But even, you know, back then, even now, the idea is that if you move to the United States, you're living in a world of just high society, money. You've made it. That's the place you want to go. And I remember just hearing all these stories of how great it was going to be for us, how wonderful. And I think we moved, I want to say summer of 91, we moved to the United States. And he went back on his own. So we flew when he was there to pick us up. And I'll never forget it. We arrived in Miami and had to drive from Miami to his home, his kingdom in Paisley, Florida. Shout out to Paisley, Florida. One of the biggest shitholes on earth. And I'm not kidding.
Wait, so that's not the,
no,
you know, we're not seeing that on a postcard anytime soon, right? Like, hey guys, if you really want to experience Florida and their culture, you go to Paisley, Florida. So paint the picture. Where's Paisley at in, you know, because Florida's a big state. Dead
center in Midland, Florida. It's close to Okeechobee Swamp. I forget how to pronounce it. It's Eustis, Umatilla, Altoona, DeLand, Florida. It's closer to Orlando, about maybe an hour and 45 minutes. If I had my own Jamie here, I'd Google it for you. But it's close to Orlando and Daytona, but it's very rural. It's a dirt road type of town back then. I know that it's gotten bigger and more developed now, but back then it was a very rural, very country style area, which we were not used to. Our family wasn't from Cherokee, Panama. Like, we weren't from the countryside of Panama. We were from Panama City, Balboa proper. Like, we were city kids. We were used to being able to jump on the bus with our mom to go see our great aunt or go to our grandma's and drive around. It was not the stereotypical idea that a lot of people have in the United States when they think about Central and South America. You think extreme poverty, you think horrible life. Like, no, looking back, I loved my family. I loved what I had, my cousins. It was very traumatizing getting pulled away from that, especially when we landed in Florida. And now it's game on, dog. This was from day one. I remember we pull up to this dirty, dingy, double wide trailer. And I remember mouthing off and saying something about like, this is like poor. These are poor. Like, what are we doing here? Like, what the fuck? Like, this is nothing like what this man said.
We've arrived at the kingdom.
Yeah. And this man,
the kingdom?
like, before I made it through the front door, like, I knew this was about to be like a very rough welcome to the United States. And that's when I got the first, and I'm not 10, I'm not 12, I'm a tiny little boy. And this man puts hands on me to the point where I pass out, to the point where I'm incapacitated. It's like, okay, this is my new life. First day one,
First
dog.
day.
First, welcome to US.
You don't even have the new freaking plane smell off you yet. and you're sitting here and already abused.
And
I mean, you've already experienced some abuse in Panama.
Yeah.
You know, so you already knew kind of what this guy could do.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it couldn't be an easy feeling already going, I'm uprooting from my support system, going into this guy's kingdom that he said was a kingdom, you know, a better life. And you already had these butterflies and uneasy feeling already.
Oh, dude.
But now you're isolated alone, but your sister and your mom.
Yep.
You know, but your mom is head over heels in love with this guy because he's a wooer. He's like, you know, let me talk to you. So pretty. Love you. But now you got these two little kids that are experiencing some deep trauma.
Oh, yeah.
And so first day one, man.
Day one, dog.
Pass out, get abused.
And it's
how's it go from there?
From there, it was indoctrination into a sociopath's secluded world. We didn't live in a tight-knit community. We didn't have neighbors that came across, and we were isolated. We didn't have anybody else because he lived in a world he fabricated for himself. He's the bravest, the best, the most knowledgeable. And of course, everything he's telling us, you know, there's nobody else coming in and chiming in. It's like, no, dude, this dude's fucking retarded. He's stupid. He doesn't have an education. He's telling us he's everything. He's our God. He's literally telling us, I control your life. As a little kid, every day was, how do I tiptoe around this monster and not be a victim? And we're not talking about just physical. We're not talking about just physical. We're talking about every type of imaginable abuse that you can possibly go through in life. And yes, I know what you're thinking, and anybody listening out there, all the horrible things that you're thinking of, myself, my sister, and my mother were subjected to it. And there was absolutely nothing we could do. I didn't understand what was happening because you have no concept of psychology or how somebody can become a willing participant in the abuse. But eventually my mother became just as toxic and just as abusive as Bill. And
so he turned her into an abuser.
Because think about it. Everybody's getting dished out abuse. But if I can project or get him to go after the kids, he's going to leave me alone. Like, I don't want to deal with this. Bill had a love and a passion for outdoors. And he was this type of crazy, manic, psychotic person that never rested. He had to work. And from day one, he told me, you are on my hip pocket, boy. You are with me at all times. We might have lived in a dilapidated, broke down, disgusting trailer, but just a few 100 yards down in the property line, because there was a lot of property. He had a massive wood shop with every single tool you could imagine. And for my entire childhood, all we did was fucking work. Because at first, the first couple of years, he couldn't get a job. He was, come to find out, he wasn't active duty. He was a National Guardsman. He got.
What did he portray himself as, though? So
he told.
So
yeah, this is.
So he went back.
Yeah. This is the great part. He told us that he was one of the nation's greatest commandos, a Green Beret. Now, if you know me, you know what I am, you know what I've done, and the audience will know here in a little bit. but he told stories of being the greatest single Green Beret. I've done this. I'm a sniper. I do this. I'm the commo guy. I'm the person that can do. And he did play with amateur radio stuff all the time. The man could do Morse code, build his own radios, and would be doing all sorts of crazy ham radio shit.
Sounds like fucking Rambo, man.
Bro, he would constantly, we would go out and shoot, and I learned how to reload with him because I was, again, on his hip pocket, always there as his assistant, always there doing everything. And if you didn't get something done right, if you didn't do it the right moment or weren't flawless in your execution, you're beaten down to a bloody pulp. I took beatings from 2x4s. Like,
holy
he
fuck.
loved taking his cowboy belt and beating the shit out of me. That was his thing. Like, you are my beast of burden. You are going to perform how I want you to perform, or else you're going to suffer the consequences. And if you cry, I'll give you something to cry about. Like, that was, and people say that all the time jokingly, but when you see someone maniacally look at you and stare at you, waiting for the tears to well up, I'm like, do it, cry. And the moment that tear comes out of your eye, the moment you show that emotion, it's game on. Go limp, go still. Just disassociate.
Shut off the pain.
For me, emotions. I was begging as a child that when things got bad, because sometimes it would just be a smack in the back of the head or a quick punch to the face. Like, but when you got his temper, or when he was frustrated by something else and you were the only thing around, he's taking that energy. And we've all been, you've felt that anger before. You felt that rage. Normal human beings say, hey, even at my fucking worst, where as an adult, I had to vent off that anger, smack something, break something. Not with Bill. Bill would take all that pain and frustration he had, he would channel it and beat you to a pulp until he was tired. That's the type of mentality this man had. He was sick. He was a psychopath, a narcissistic psychopath. And when things didn't go his way, it was because the entire world was against him. And how could that possibly happen to the nation's greatest Green Beret, the world's greatest fucking warfighter? And that's how we grew up. We grew up thinking these lies were true because we didn't have any outside influence. We didn't have anybody else coming in interjecting. He didn't have friends. He didn't have people that would come in and say, nah, dude, this dude's full of shit. When I look back in time, there was tiny moments where people checked that. There was a moment at Home Depot where he was puffing his chest talking to one of the managers about Green Beret this, Green Beret that. And the dude coined him. The dude pulled out a fucking coin. I didn't know what it was at the time. I didn't know what the fuck that was, but it was a fifth group coin. And I'm like, I'm watching my slave owner, the guy that owns me, because that's the number one thing he'd always say, like, I own you. You're mine. I'm your God. And so
when you say pull out that coin, though,
yeah,
what does that mean to people who don't know the military lingo? So
this goes way back. I forget the origins, but I know specifically for us in SF, when you serve on a team, you get your team coin. It's the emblem, the logo, the mascot of the team, whatever that team has to represent who they are and what they're about goes on that coin. And I've been a part of amazing teams. Some of them have serialized numbers. Like, there's some cool history and some cool shit when a team sergeant hands you a book to write in your name and there's a number. It's like, you earn that shit. Like,
that's legit, man.
That's some legit shit.
So he pulls this coin out, symbolizing like,
hey, motherfucker, you're talking.
I get you, man. Yeah, your brother in ours, man. Check this out.
Well, not even like that. It was because Bill's always doing this chest puffing. He's a short guy. I didn't realize how short he was because I was a kid. He's 5'6", 5'7" at best. And he's complaining. I forget. I have to fucking sit down and be intentional. But they're having, it's sort of a pissing match, if you can imagine it. And the guy's like, oh yeah, cool, man. I was in 5th group. And I don't know what any of that shit means at the time. And he pulls out the coin and he's like, what group were you in? And Bill quickly, like, oh, and then we get in the truck and we drive off and he's pissed off. And of course, the gentleman that did this was a black man. And Bill is extremely fucking racist. And we'll get into that real quick. But as we drive off, he's racial slur to this, racial slur to that. But then in my mind, that was one of the first moments where I was like, how come you don't have one of those things? Like, if that dude has, and he's one like you, like, how come you don't have a coin? What? He had no fucking regalia. Like, dude, I've got team plaques. I've got fucking my green berets in my room, my Yarborough knife. I am proud, extremely fucking proud of what I accomplished as a Green Beret. Like, I don't wear it on a fucking t-shirt all the time. I don't put my DD-214 on my car. But if you come into my house, the first thing you do is you open the front door and walk into the 4A. Like, there's my team plaque from my team that I retired out of. I am fucking proud of that.
Yeah, it's a wall of honor, man.
It's fucking, and it more so, it's the connection I have with those human beings. I talk to my brothers, like, fucking 4 of them are part of this whole fucking production. Like, we're thick as thieves when you go through some of this shit. But he didn't have one single Green Beret friend that came over or did anything. He didn't have any of that shit. And that's when it was like, oh, fuck. Like, I remember that, like, key moment stored in your memory. This guy might be a piece of shit liar. And it stayed with me. And the other thing that, and I want to go back to his extreme racism, is this motherfucker went to Panama. He was deployed there as part of some B team. Marries a Panamanian woman, brings back the woman and the kids that are Panamanian, and then proceeds to do nothing but disparage our nationality, our culture, and tell us that we need to look white. Don't grow out your hair. I don't want to see your fucking curly ass hair. I need you, if you're going to be seen in public with me, you better be able to look white. We weren't allowed to speak Spanish in the house. We weren't allowed.
Wow.
We weren't allowed.
So he removed your culture from you.
Entire thing.
He's just like, welcome to the United States. Culture fucking ripped out.
Yeah.
Not here, not today. I'm not proud of where you're from.
Yeah.
You shouldn't be either.
It floored him that we didn't want to take his last name. Fucking floored him. I'm like, Doogan? Like, even as a kid, I was like, fucking no. Like, hell no. Like, I might not have any connection to the guy who gave me my last name, but I sure is fucking gonna be a fucking dude. And he held it over our heads like, if I adopt you, you're gonna be wearing my last name and you better give it honor. I'm like, Tuck, you ain't never fucking giving me that fucking last name. Like, and that's something that's like, we didn't realize that was the easiest way for being naturalized, for gaining your citizenship. And we were just like, nah, like, yeah, we caught fucking beatings for that, but yeah, no, I'm not gonna do that. Fuck that. Like, I don't want that fucking last name. And it just continued to always, because one of the things that I'm now realizing is if you were, I believe it would have been financially better for him if he would have outright adopted us. That's some of the things that you game plan and figure out, like, why was he always trying to get us to take on his last name? There's a lot of weird things, but now we're thinking, like, as adults, we're like, man, that motherfucker was just trying to get fucking Social Security or trying to get some fucking benefits or something. But he totally erased that aspect, or tried erasing that aspect of who we are. Like, I don't cut my hair these days because fuck that. I've been waiting my entire life to grow out my fucking hair. This dude would have me shave my hair, wear Wrangler jeans, fucking just look. I mean, I've wore glasses my entire life till I got LASIK surgery prior to leaving the 82nd, going into the Q course. Thank you, 82nd. But this motherfucker would try to get me to get glasses that looked just like his. It was some very weird, fucked up shit. And it was just constantly living in a state of survival and fear, man. That was my life. And then
that shaped your childhood.
Oh,
I mean,
bro, that was.
So how did that go into high school? Your relationships with other people,
dude.
Like,
it was. So we left Florida, and there's a lot of horrible shit, but we don't have. You'll have to wait till I publish the book. So give me a couple more years, but we'll fast forward. We'll fast forward for the sake of this program. But so basically, our life in Florida was very traumatic, very violent, very horrible. But towards the end of 95, Bill starts seeing that, well, I kind of don't want this woman anymore, and I'm kind of ready to move on. So, like any
Is
other,
it that he didn't want the woman?
Yeah,
or
I
did he
think-
not want the ass whooping that's about to commence? Because this young boy
No.
is no longer a young boy.
no,
He's
I
becoming
was still a
man.
kid. I was still a kid.
Oh, really?
Oh,
How
yeah.
old were you at this time?
Like I was 9 or 10.
Oh, okay.
And no, I'm still a kid. Like we don't have that final like fucking moment to like after my second tour in Iraq. But before we leave Florida, there is a lot of tension going on between my biological mother and Bill. He's already seen other women. He's trying to cut loose. There's lots of threats of like, I'm sending you all back to Panama. I'm like, fuck yes, let's do it. Let's fucking
Don't threaten me with a good time.
Let's fucking go, dog. I'm ready. Packing my bags and shit. But finally, because my biological mother is also not a normal, well-adjusted adult, she decides the best way to maintain her status in the United States is to get pregnant and have another baby. And so that puts the squash on Bill trying to leave her, them getting a divorce.
So it's Bill's kid.
Yep. So they have a child together, and in true fashion of horrible parents, my little sister is now, our world. She's everything for me and my older sister. We're the caregivers. As soon as she comes into our life, it's like, okay, now you have to fend for yourself and fend for this tiny human being. And that took a lot from my sister. It's not my story to tell, but everything that I experienced, my sister went through it just as bad. And you can only imagine things for her got worse as she became a young lady.
I mean, the evil motherfucker doing this to a young boy.
Oh yeah.
And has access to a young lady who is developing.
Yep.
I can only fucking imagine the monster that he started to be.
It was everybody.
Yeah,
it was all of us. And the worst of the worst things happened when he was taking us out hunting. That was his one thing that he loved to do. And it's anytime you went out to go hunt, you just knew like, this is going to be miserable. That I got to survival mode. So 96 comes around. Bill decides that he's going to move us to Colorado. I don't understand. I don't really know the exact catalyst for the move. All I know is that we went into overdrive mode, into working. I mean, we built the gooseneck trailer that we packed up everything in by ourselves. A fucking kid and an abusive egomaniac built a gooseneck trailer from the fucking ground up because he might have been the most retarded, and I know that's not a favored word, but he was truly the stupidest motherfucker I've ever met in my life. But when it came to making and doing and fabricating, the dude knew how to work. Like he could just create and build shit. And dude, we were just working day and night to build this gooseneck trailer, to build all the things we needed, and then fix up the trailer because he wanted to sell the trailer. He owned the land, he owned the trailer. So then we're fucking trying to paint a fucking white dog turd to look like a fucking a decent place to live in. And
imagine what paint can do, huh?
Yeah, dude, fun fact, the people that bought that trailer still live in it today.
Fuck no.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
The same trailer.
Same fucking trailer. I'm like, you put a lot of money. Like, why? Like, trust me. I wish I could walk you through this shithole that this thing is. But hey, to each his own, I guess. So yeah, we build this fucking massive gooseneck trailer. We pack everything up and we uproot from Paisley, Florida, and we move to Colorado. And he borrows some money from a few people, and we're able to get a rental house in Fort Collins, Colorado. So the first couple years in Colorado, we lived in Fort Collins. And you have to remember, we went from being around country folk, very poor. Like, nobody was fucking making fun of the fact that my shoes weren't cool. Like, every kid around you was sort of poor. Like it sucked, but no one's giving you shit in the schoolyard when you're all from Dirtville, fucking Florida. Everybody was the same. We didn't know class hierarchy, if you will. But when we moved to Fort Collins, when we moved to Colorado, we definitely knew we were at the bottom of the socioeconomic ladder. Like, it was like, oh, fuck. Like, life sucks at home. And now, like, now you're trying to find your way in a world that's not only shitty when you go to school. School used to be an escape. It used to be like, well, fuck, I can act out. Fuck these teachers. I can act like a piece of shit. Because it was about having some sort of control. It truly is. Like, I have no control. I have no ability to even regulate my own emotions at home. But if I go to school, fuck these people. Fuck these teachers. I'll be a dick to them. Like, it was that way of like finally having a voice. But now you're
recreating your life at home too.
Yeah.
Because that's the interaction you're used to. You're used to negative interactions and negative.
Absolutely.
So that's where you're getting it at school too. You're like, fuck it. I'm creating the same thing at school.
Yeah. It was a hard adjustment. But as kids, you're resilient. You're able. And I had my sister. My sister was always popular, always beautiful, had great friends. I was just a tag-along kid. I was like, fuck it. My sister's popular. My sister's got friends, but I'm good. I don't give a shit. And that's pretty much how it always worked. And then we moved from Fort Collins, moved to Windsor, Colorado. And that's where I grew up for the rest of the time. And that's where I finally ran away. My junior year, like I had a vivid nightmare that Bill was killing me. He didn't get the same satisfaction out of abusing me anymore because like I'd gotten to the point where I disassociate. I just go fucking blank. There's no crying. There's no tears. It's just like, dude, whatever. You're going to wear yourself out, dog. Like, and I remember some of the times we would go hunting, it got easier for him to threaten to kill me. He would say things like, if I kill you out here, no one's going to fucking find you. I'm like, oh, this motherfucker's going to do it. I'm no longer a little boy. I'm a fucking grown ass fucking young man. Like, there's intuition comes into play a lot of times. You get that funny feeling in the back of your neck, your hair stands up. You're on a patrol in Afghanistan, you just feel something's wrong and you listen to it. You listen to your gut. That part of your brain isn't connected to the part of your brain where it says like actual words like, hey, you're in danger. Your gut feeling that's resonating from that reptile brain that's like, hey, you gotta go. You gotta fucking go. And I just had that gut feeling. And I started saving up money because, I started working at 15. Like, I was working at Burger King, fucking night shift as a 15-year-old kid.
You're used to working. You're used to being busy. I mean, he indoctrinated into this working life.
Yeah.
without even really know it. He's creating probably a good habit you didn't even know, and I'm not going to say a good habit because that's not. I know it's not really a great buzzword, but
I know the
work ethic he kind of built into you.
Putting those things side to side is always hard, especially for anybody that's grown up in extreme abuse. You realize that you have something powerful that others don't have. That survivor's mentality, that's a powerful thing. Yeah, I went my entire adult life crediting my success to the pain and abuse that I went through. If I hadn't gone through that, I wouldn't have made it through SEER school. If I hadn't gone through that, I wouldn't have made it through Iraq. But no,
that shit made it look easy.
No, and it is. But the reality is, don't give the power to the abuse or the abuser. Give the power to who you are, resilient, and who you are. The person that you are survived those things. You're the powerful person. You're the 1% factor, dog. It's not the abuser. It's nothing that he did made me a better person. I was born, everything within me, the survivor within me is what made me a better person. You just don't know that when you're in the middle of it.
So you're out in the woods, man, and he's threatening to kill you.
Oh, yeah.
And you have this sense like, I got to get the hell out of here.
Bro,
or else he's going to kill me because you are becoming a young man now. Now he can see, wait, these demons I have been doing are about to fucking catch up to me. Because this guy is now could be a powerhouse, and he can actually probably take me on and do something.
But at the same time, you're still a young, abused child.
Sure.
You
have that fear. He has that control over you.
Absolutely. I never saw, and this is true, I never saw William Lee Doogan as the broken, dementia-riddled, poor sap of a human being until after I got done with my last treatment center. Every time I visualized him, every time I had a nightmare, every time I reached to lock the door at night, I saw that man as that tall, overpowering figure in my life.
You fucking saw him recently, I'm saying within 5 years.
Bro, I did Greenside research, because you're tired. You finally realize, oh, fuck, dog. Like, first of all, physically, I could beat that man to a pulp. I could literally destroy this person and not even exert myself. What would that do, though? Nothing.
Self-satisfaction, maybe. Like,
we thought that. I thought we all have thought that. If you grow up abused, you've always thought about that. But the reality is, everything I prayed for, and my sister and I, we would pray. We would pray, God, kill him. Do something. Free us. Kill this man. Please, dear God, deliver us from this. Everything I prayed for, the Lord came through and provided it just on his own time. You know what's more painful? You know what's more poetic justice than anything is looking at him now. Looking at him now, seeing who he is now. He has no one. He has a criminal record. He's alone. He's begging for food. You know, I heard through the grapevine that he might be on his last days. Oh no. I pray he has 4 more years.
Many days.
5 more years. You have no family. You have no brotherhood. You lie. You cheat and you manipulate people. Turns out, motherfucker never really graduated or did anything as an active duty Green Beret.
So this guy gave you this falsehood, like I'm Rambo,
fucking
man.
Fugazi.
When you see fucking Rambo, you see me. That's me right here. And you live your life through this until the time you ran away.
Yeah.
You know, and you ran away and got away from this man. Did you graduate high school?
Oh, yeah.
So you still have the wherewithal, like, fuck, I know I need to do something.
Oh, bro.
And graduating high school is part of it. And doing it too. So I'm not like this guy over here.
Yeah.
I got to do something with my life, even though you don't have your sister, your older and younger sister, and your mom. You're a complete, really, network and structure is completely disassembled, gone.
Oh yeah.
But I imagine you had some friends.
I had some good friends. But my story doesn't get immediately better like a Hollywood story. It's out of the frying pan into the fire type situation. I had a girlfriend, and her mother was like, hey, we know you're abused. Now, this is a powerful thing. My entire career as a student, my entire life as a student, going through schools, I never had one fucking teacher pull me aside and say, hey, well, you got that black eye. Why are you wincing in pain? What's going on at home? How come you don't have clean clothes? Like, what's going on? Never. But here's this woman that is telling me everything that's happening at home as if she's seen it, and telling me that you don't have to live this way. I will be your protector. I will save you. You can run away. We'll take you on. Now, that was shocking to me, but what was even more shocking was how easy it was for me to be able to fall victim to that. I'll be your mother. Oh, cool. The woman's name turned out to be Caroline Scout. Caroline Scout was also a grifter, manipulator. She had a long history of scamming people from Wyoming to the Dakotas to California. There's probably decades of stories of all the evil doings she's done. But the weekend of my 18th birthday, she has this foolproof plan to get me into a safe house, get me into somebody who's going to take care of me. And she bills herself as a holistic healer, as a person that, like a personal coach, like a counselor. And she has all these fucking people that are just out of the woodwork, ready to help me. I'm just like, whoa, I didn't understand what I was seeing. I was seeing somebody that was a master manipulator that had a network of people that were her loyal following fucking subjects. I spent the weekend fucking hiding in this fucking family's home, waiting for me to be 18, and then whisked me away to her property. And now I'm living with Caroline, my new adoptive mom. Meanwhile, Bill is obviously freaking out because he's thinking I'm going to the cops to tell them everything. And before I even have a chance, this dude slaps me with a lawsuit. No shit. Yeah.
Wait. Oh,
Yeah.
You run away.
Yep.
You get to this other not really desirable situation.
Yep.
And then you just get slapped around the fucking head with a lawsuit?
This
What
man
is a fucking master manipulator, abuser in every way imaginable, hit you with the fucking, what is he suing you for?
Yeah. This man was filing false police reports saying that I was driving to his property, driving to his house, harassing me, tailgating him dangerously. And he coerces my little sister, who's a fucking toddler at this time, to tell the cops, like, yeah, I was, my dad was really scared. I was really scared. So he's got all the, so I have to go to court. I can't afford a fucking lawyer. I can't afford fucking nobody. And because my biological mother and my sisters are also victims, guess what he has them do? Stand up
have them
and testify.
Hell yeah. Or
Against me. Yeah.
They're feared. They're fucking scared.
Absolutely.
They're still living with this man.
Absolutely.
What do you think they're going to do to them if he goes on the opposition?
Yeah. But this is one of the few moments where I'm like, I'm able to get some people that understood. Like, I had a previous girlfriend. I mean, this woman, amazing young lady, was willing to come on my defense to speak on my behalf. Because, you're dating somebody as a kid in high school, you're telling them everything that's going on. And she was willing to do that. And a few other people came on my behalf, but I'm sitting there like facing a real lawyer that's, of course he's being told lies by Bill. And I'm just sitting there like, dog, I got receipts for all this shit. I got like fucking, so eventually I get my chance to talk, and I'm sitting there. I still remember the judge's name, Carol M. Holler, amazing lady. it's funny how life brings things back in full circle. But I remember going up there and being like, hey, how about X, Y, and Z? You're doing this, doing that. Just all the accusations, just putting everything out there. It's like, dude, you've done this, you've done this, you've done that. And of course, I don't have video evidence of everything he's done. Like, I'm just going out there telling him everything, telling the judge, pleading my case of everything he's done and how I had to get away. And of course, he starts interrupting me. Of course, like an egomaniac, he starts yelling out slurs, racial slurs in court. And I'm just like,
this is the beginning, Judge. Hold tight, grab a beer.
I'm like, and it's not, no, like, this is like, and finally she's like, because he goes up there trying to say that I've caused all the problems in this marriage and blah. I'm like, dude, like you've molested, you've beat, you've nearly killed every last one of us. Like, you need to be in jail. Of course, the judge, like, as soon as he goes on his tirade, she stops it and like throws the case out. I'm just like, fuck, victory, finally. And like, I'm thinking as a kid, I'm like, okay, now that all the evidence is out, like, this dude's going to jail. Doesn't work that way. He doesn't know that either. In a matter of 48 hours, he fucking packs up everything in Colorado and flees the state with my younger sister. Fucking
not your mom, not your older sister.
With my older sister stayed, my biological mother, him, and my younger sister flee the state of Colorado. They go off, and I don't see my sister for fucking years later. And this is how powerful this person was able to, like, truly weave himself. And then this is a testament to what it's like to be a victim of abuse. Like, you can walk out, and people don't understand. You can walk out of an abusive situation, but sometimes people get pulled right back in. People don't understand that. People don't understand that. You think like, oh, you endured all that abuse. You went in, now you're free, and you come back, and you see that with wives. You see that with women all the time. But what happens is I am free for about 4 or 5 years, living my life, trying to go to college, trying to do my thing, because I originally enlisted in the National Guard, and I'm trying to pay my way, do my own life, trying to figure out my own course of action. And eventually, it's my biological mother and my older sister that bring me back into that world, bring me back to that, because my biological mother's saying things like, this is your only family. This is all we have. This is all you have. You can't, Bill's different now. You have to be. And I'm like, how are you? But he did this to me. He did this to my sister. He did X, Y, and Z. He's like, family has to be able to forgive. Family's all you have. You got to be able, family. Then you get sucked right back in. And you're like, fuck. And I kind of justified it for myself because I'm like, well, I don't live there. I don't live with them anymore. I ended up switching, going active duty. And I'm like, whatever.
So did you ever go back and live there? Did you ever go back where
I went back and I visited? I went back and I visited. I went back fully integrated because my sister had asked for me to help her move down to Tennessee. So
your older sister?
My older sister. Okay. So I'm reconciling all that stuff, and I'm like, well, I have my sister now. I have my sister. I love my sister. Like, I feel like, okay, I can forgive. So you kind of just fall back in. And for years, I just figured like, okay, well, I don't have to see him. I don't have to be directly in there. But in the back of my mind, I can't really reconcile the fact that my own biological mother is calling me and pulling me back into this world. And I'm just like, man, like, and of course, the greatest thing to solve any conundrum is to drink and to party and just forget about it. And now I'm also a young man going into my first Iraq deployment. So it's like, whatever, dude, they're happy. I don't have to live there. So I go through that deployment, come back, nothing's changed. I'm still seeing the dysfunctional thinking in my biological mother's way of mind and my sister. You know, I get married in 2009. I'm trying to really like recalibrate and really justify how I can still call these people family. And in the middle of that, I'm also going through a train up, going for my second Iraq deployment. And I shit you not, I get back from my second trip to Iraq. I'm home for like 48 hours and I get this phone call. And it's my biological mother. She's like, hey, I'm ready to leave Bill. I need your help. And I'm like, I thought this is the fucking father figure. This is the man you love. This is the man you've raved about. You pull me back into this fucking world. Like, bitch, you pull me back into this fucking world. Now you're telling me that everything I was talking about, everything that I shared, all this abuse is true. Now you're telling me it's time to leave. So what do? I suck it up. I drive fucking nonstop from North Carolina all the way down to Tennessee, and finally have what you're expecting is this hero's journey to fruition. Now you're facing your abuser. Now you're like, I'm fully. And I remember asking one of my friends, I'm like, hey man, I need something that's not registered. If you get my drift, I need something to take with me in case I gotta do something fucking illegal.
Yeah, because there's gonna be a fucking course of action. Yeah. Like, I'm going not only down there to pack some shit up, but to deliver a fucking another different kind of package. So I fucking wow.
And this whole time I already got a rental home figured out in Shelbyville, Tennessee for my mom. I already have all this shit figured out. I'm like, hey, I'll get your power turned on, I'll get all this shit. Like, I got you. Like, I'll make this shit, I'll figure it out. Like, you ain't gonna go hungry. You and my little sister, you're gonna be taken care of. Just have everything packed up, put everything in trash bags. As soon as I pull up, I'm gonna grab you guys. We're gonna fucking go. Somehow he finds out and motherfucking calls the cops on me. Motherfucker's afraid of me, and I beat him to it. I get there. Sorry, I got Pop. A little break. I got my tiny puppy. She just woke up. So.
No, that's fine. Oh, dude, I got my dog in here too, man. Like, it's therapeutic. They come in here and nudge your hand.
You're too loud. Yeah. But yeah, so I show up and I'm like, what's good, dude? Like, fucking, you know why I'm here, right? And he's cowered down. Like, oh, yeah. And I'm like, and of course, fucking, before I even get a chance to do fucking anything, I just look at him and I realize, like, you're a bitch. Like, you're fucking, like, where's all this bravado? Where's all these threats? You're gonna fucking kill me, whatnot, everything. And I'm just like,
where's this empty fucking threat?
Where the fuck is this? Like, woods, you want this fucking clash of violence, but then you realize, like, that's not how real world works. This dude, at his very core, is a sad, insecure piece of shit. He calls the fucking cops. Little does he know the cops already know that this is happening. My biological mother called the sheriffs, let him know, like, hey, I need. So sheriff deputy shows up, like, there's everything was civil, and I'm like fucking just grabbing all their belongings, put it in my fucking Jeep and drive off. And I at least have that feeling of, like, finally, my mom understands that she doesn't have to live this way. My mom chose and found in her own strength, she finally found her own strength to leave this man. And I'm happy. I'm proud of her. Like, I forgive everything, instantly forgive. Like, hey, fuck it. Like, you're a victim too. You didn't know any better. Like, and not even 20, I'm not even fucking kidding you, man. Not even 20 minutes later, I pull up to the place that I had gotten for her, and she starts telling me how she met somebody else. And that's the whole reason why she left. Now, thank God that the individual she met ended up being an amazing human being, a wonderful fucking man. I thank God every single day that he came into their lives, because he became the most amazing supportive father for my youngest sister. I have nothing but love and admiration for that man, his family. Amazing human being. But there was no strength, no monumental challenge that woman overcame at any point in her life. She finally had somebody that had more money that she could pivot to, and that's why she did it. And hey, whatever. It gave my youngest sister a better life. It gave her somebody that could protect her, somebody that loved her, that could pour love and help her heal and have the life that she deserved. So I thank God for that intervention. I thank God for that. Even though my mother might have been a lost cause, he gave my youngest sister something that is worth more than gold, and that's a real father figure, somebody that could be there for her.
That's amazing, dude. And she's doing well today.
Oh, absolutely.
And your older sister is doing well as well.
My oldest sister is a fucking boss, dog. A fucking boss. I have so much admiration and respect for her. I know she's just now understanding the power of her own story. We're working on doing our own long format show to really go into full details of everything we experienced, because now that I'm finally, at 38, I think it was 37, I finally realized how important my story really is. Not in a oh, look at me way, but no, like, we survived something that people don't really truly understand. What I'm sharing today is only a fraction of everything we've seen, been through, and overcome. And I feel that in an age, in a time right now where we don't talk about true resilience and what it means to be a survivor, we idolize and we promote victimhood. That's what we do. I agree. We put a value in being part of a victim group. We don't put a value in saying, I fucking overcame this. I don't want victims. I don't want to sit there and talk to people that are okay with sitting in victimhood. People can take your power from you. People can do horrible things, but you have the ability to stand up. You do. Absolutely. Even as a little fucking kid, I don't want to give away too many things about SEER school, because I do feel that it is a very sacred environment that you shouldn't be privy to. But there is a moment in a lot of these young men, like, and I experienced it as a kid. I know what it's like. I know how to play the game. Oh, you need me to look down, be small, think small. Okay. But there's a moment when you see the fire and the light in somebody's eye, and it's a controlled training environment, but you see somebody finally realize, nah, dog, you can beat me, you can hose me down in the cold, you can do whatever you can, but you ain't getting in here. You can't control this. Like, it might be cold, it might be miserable, you can punish me, but you can't control my mindset. And that's a beautiful thing I wish more people could realize. Yeah, we can all be born in fucking poverty, adverse settings, and have fucking horrible things happen to us. But you can fight. Mind, body, and spirit, dog. You have control over those. You can fight. You can continue. And a lot of times fighting means you go get help. You get help through a therapy. You get help through psychedelics. You get help through treatment options. Any modality out there. That's fighting. Getting help is not being a coward. Getting help and sitting down and licking your wounds,
that's being a survivor.
Yeah.
Well, let's stop right here. Let's take a break.
Word.
And then
Sounds
we're going to
good.
pick right back up.
Hell yeah.
Sound good? All right.
Excellent, brother.
All right. So you face your abuser, move your mom and your little sister away, and she finds actually a terrific guy to take care of her and to be a father figure that your younger sister desperately needs. So that's probably got a sense of calming though for you though.
Yeah,
a little bit, right? Because
I think the biggest thing was a sense of validation that this man truly was a fucking monster. Because you're waiting for your somewhat normal parental figure to be like, wow, like, we need to get the fuck out of here. Like any normal functioning adult that has children and their significant other comes into their life and starts beating the absolute shit out of their kids will say, what the fuck? Cops, protective services, you're done. Meanwhile, we're living this for decades, for years. This is all we know is this abuse. And finally, she leaves. So for me, it was, okay, I wasn't crazy. I ran away for a reason, even though that led into a whole bunch of other traumatic shit. Like I was right for leaving and kind of put my mind at ease for a little bit. But one thing that never recovers, one thing that never truly was fixed was our relationship. When you are finally having to reconcile and actually you spend a lot of time pushing all that shit in the back of your mind. You don't talk about it. Only now that I'm a healthy individual that chose to get help and work through those demons, I understand? But you
didn't work through those demons.
No, all I did was
until recently.
No.
And now you transitioned into the military, though, right? Yeah. Now you joined the military, had a couple deployments underneath your belt, and got your mom and your sister in a safer place, or safe place.
Yeah.
And now you have going through this military that you actually haven't even addressed your childhood trauma.
Fuck no.
Yeah. And so now you're in deep 2 tours Iraq.
Nope.
And how was that? When did you go into the military as a way to get away from the situation you're in?
I joined because I realized that I didn't belong to anything. I didn't have culturally, I didn't belong to anything. When I look back at my time as a young man trying to go to college, trying to survive and being in a National Guard, like there's no part of me that felt like he was part of anything. You're trying to go to get a higher education, but you're having to work normal jobs to even have a fragment of a decent living, to be able to and I'm just supporting myself. I'm out here comparing myself to individuals that are going to universities, full ride scholarships, parents are paying for everything, and I don't have a fraction of the ability to breathe like they do. They have the ability to just be, yeah, fuck it, man. I'm like, I could just fuck fucking just continue living off my parents. I'm like, fuck no, I don't have, that's not an option for me. Like, nothing in this world felt like I belonged to it, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
I'm walking, I'm going, I'm partying, I'm fucking having a great time. Fucking, you kidding me? Northern Colorado, fucking snow bunnies, white girls everywhere. You're just having a great time, fucking drinking your face off in an early, you know, in your early 20s. And you're like, what am I doing? What am I fucking doing? 21, I got nothing. I have no values, I have no moral. Like, okay, I became a National Guardsman. I've gone to Katrina. I've done some cool things, but there's this whole world. There's this war going on. There's this whole thing. And when you don't have a rites of passage, when you don't have nothing telling you how to become a man, you don't have a rite of passage. I'm not part of gang culture. I'm not part of a family structure. The only thing that I saw as a trial into figuring out how to be a man was the military, the National Guard. And I'm sorry, I don't want to disparage anybody that serves in the National Guard, but it is not the place for young men that want to have a life of adventure and to see the world. I didn't want to stay on shore. I didn't want to stay and live this life of like 1 week in a month. 2 weeks out of the summer. What's that doing for me? Nothing, because at the end of the day, I drive back, I'm in a fucking broke down 1-bedroom fucking apartment. Like, I'm out here trying to hustle to make anything happen, and none of it's fucking happening. It's meaningless. There's no sense of purpose in this life. And I'm tired of pretending like I'm gonna get somewhere, but I'm just working bullshit jobs.
Yeah, when you have no purpose, no drive, no mission.
But I know but I know I survived something chaotic. I know if I went through all that shit as a child, as a kid, why am I willing to sit here and work at fucking Loomis, Fargo, dog? Armed guard. This is what I'm meant for? Is this it? And I told myself, maybe I'll be a police officer. And this is not a disparaging remark on first responders. The work I do and everything I do with Security Halt. I feel that our first responder brothers and sisters go through the same shit that we do, except they walk out into a hostile environment the moment they leave the front door. But at that time, I had this idea, this delusion that like, oh, I can find purpose in being a police officer. This is what because somebody else told me that. Because somebody else was saying like, oh, this is better. But thankfully, I had met individuals that were willing to give me wise counsel and see something within me and say, you're meant for more. And I knew I didn't want to be in this place anymore. I didn't want to be in this world where I don't move away from my hometown, where I am just and is this really my hometown? Like, are these people gonna like, no, like I'm not gonna sit here and be sad and broken just because I didn't get a fucking full ride to a great university. I'm not gonna sit here and say, well, if I would have just had better family, I could have gone to college and made something of myself. I said, fuck that, dude. Fuck that. What can I do?
Make something of yourself now, man. It's up to you. It's not up to them. It's not where you came from.
Yeah, and I knew
where you're going.
And I knew going into active duty would at least give me an adventure into something that I could do for myself and prove through my own hard work that was worth something. And I needed that. I desperately needed that validation that because you don't have that. Growing up, you're a piece of shit. You're told you're nothing. So going into the military gave me that. And I was desperately looking for men that could teach me how to be a man. And we all are, as young men, when we go in the military, who do we look up to? Squad leader, our team leaders, our first sergeants. And that's what I was looking for. I'm like, I see the people around me, and none of y'all motherfuckers can teach me how to do anything. None of y'all, like, all you're fucking lost. I don't want to be a deadbeat dad like this, dude. I don't want to be fucking living in squalor and barely making a living.
Yeah, it's giving that purpose, man.
Yeah.
That drive. You hit it. You're into a a brotherhood. I mean, the moment you walk off the bus and they line you up and you got this fucking drill instructor or fucking, I forgot what they call it in the Navy. My God. Maybe I need some pills or something.
I don't know. I don't know what the Navy calls her.
The RDC's recruit something. I forgot. Yeah. Yelling at you.
They call them buddies.
They call them buddies.
Hey, buddy.
Hey, hey, come on, man.
Might call them
That's
daddies.
my word. That's why we have the name on the back of our asses.
Get over here, recruit. Yes, daddy.
Yeah. Oh, fucking hey, man.
But yeah,
it's been long. Yeah, and you get off the bus, and instantly you're just kind of like looking to the left, looking to the right, and like, you know what? We're gonna be sending the same shithole for the while. So, hello, brother.
Yeah, I think I am forever grateful that I went to the 82nd. I'm forever grateful that I had those 2 deployments with
82nd Airborne. He's talking about.
Yeah, sorry, the 82nd Airborne.
So, yeah. Non-military
which is a
people.
Division. So within that division, I went to the 2504, and within the 25, oh man,
well, no, hold on, man. Now when you start spitting some knowledge like that, you listen, you grunts, you fucking Army guys know what the hell you're talking about.
There's no finer infantry paratroopers than the 2nd of the 504th PIR. I went to BCO 2504 White Devils. Never change that name, please. Regardless of the current times we live in, we're changing everything. Fucking for God's sakes, Fort Bragg is now Liberty.
Slur, so get the fuck out of your head, dude. So yeah, this isn't about.
I went to it was my what I call my associate's degree and a master's degree of violence and warfare, and I got my first degree in the 82nd with some of the greatest professional soldiers I'm privileged to call my brothers and friends now. These individuals took a piss poor excuse of a soldier and turned him into a decent soldier to go through the Q course. But yeah, I owe everything in my career, not only to my own desire and drive to reach, what I feel is one of the top performing units in our military, but it was those leaders, and my teammates and everybody I served with. Those guys molded me. And I wasn't the greatest paratrooper, but I served with some of the best fucking dudes that I idolized and looked up to.
That made me humbling, man. Really, it is. You going, I'm not the best, because you get this too often.
Fuck no.
Oh man, I'm the best. Blah 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 blah.
Nope.
Be humble and be like, man, I wasn't the best. I just had the privilege
I learned from them.
Serve with the best.
Yeah.
To have them mentor me, to become a better soldier.
The absolute greatest squad leader I ever saw do the job is Paul Strobel. He's one of the guys I work with on Security Hall. The greatest platoon sergeant, Sergeant McKenzie. I still talk to Mike McKenzie often. These are leaders that you don't realize when you take somebody or you take a group, which, fun fact, by the way, as human beings, we're not wired to just have compassion and love for an endless amount of people. We're not. There's an actual number to it. There's an actual fucking number to the amount of people that we can care about deeply and remember and keep in our heads. And it's about 120, I believe. Fact check me on that. But
yeah, I would love to hear it. If there's any fact checkers out there.
But that's oddly enough. When you look at the line and number, rank and file for the size of an infantry company, and if I had my own production guy here, this is your show. I'm usually hosting my show, but it's about that. It's about the same number. So all those people deeply connected and deeply are a part of who I am and why I succeeded in going through the Q course. Like I didn't make it through selection because I'm the fucking greatest fucking specimen. I went there because I went through selection with a stacked deck of dudes. I was there with platoon leaders from my fucking company. I was there with fucking platoon mates, dudes that I had just gone done with 2 fucking back-to-back tours of Iraq. How the fuck are you going to quit on a team event? How the fuck are you going to quit on a run when it's you and Vinny Ventrese? That's a real person. Shout out to Vinny. Me and him went to the fucking selection together. And there's no better way of making it through something so challenging than being able to look to your left and right and be surrounded by brothers that were literally in combat with you. Like, I'm not going to fucking quit. I remember every single fucking day, Vinny and I would line up. Like, this is the fucking day we don't make it, huh, Cap? I'm like, yeah, man, I don't know, man. You know, Vinny and I both came from a pretty rough background, and we weren't the brightest tools in the shed. And we both had to retake our fucking aptitude tests at selection because we weren't the smartest guys. But we thought that was going to be like the one thing that was going to get us. And every day we're just sitting there like, oh man, I don't know if we got what it takes. No, just keep going. If you don't quit, I won't quit. All right, I'm not going to quit. And you keep going through that. Like that's, what's that?
Well, what you were just saying, we're going back to it. Dunbar's number, he proposed that humans can comfortably maintain 150 stable relationships. You almost hit it, dude. You almost hit it. So, I mean, hey, fuck it. Still fact check us. Yeah. I mean, I would love it. I don't know if I have that capability. I think mine's more like 50.
You'd be surprised. You'd be every time. Like now, TBI has taken a lot from me, but it is a different part of memory too. And there's different things that affect it. But I might not remember names. I might not remember when people are, oh man, fucking so and so is over here. I'm like, I don't know who the fuck that is. But I see a picture. Or you give me something to connect it to that we did together, and boom, it's like, fuck yeah, dude. I remember that dude. Solid fucking, he was one of our fisters. Great fucking dude. And that's the beauty of it. Yeah.
I have to do this today in business too.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, we're in business. You meet a lot of people. You go out there, you network, you do all that good stuff. And like yesterday, people come up, oh, hey, Dustin. I'm like, who the fuck? Like, what is their name? I recognize them. I know you from places. Yep. Names eluding me. Oh, well. Same thing. That's how I put people on my phone. Like, I don't put, like, if I put Dustin Hayes in my phone, I'd forget my own name.
Yeah.
Like, I have to put that name and associate to how I met him. And then, boom, it's like, oh, yep, call him. Because how many freaking Johns do you know?
Yeah.
You know, how many Sarahs do you know? Like, holy shit, dude. That is a lot.
Yeah, the crazy. Yeah. Go ahead.
So, go ahead.
Yeah, the craziest thing is, like, anybody from my childhood, anybody from my time growing up, bro, you'd have to show me scientific proof that we fucking knew each other.
Well, you're blanking it out, man. You're in survivor mode,
dude. Yeah, and so that's 100%.
You're not in a comprehending cognitive state of mind. You're in a state of mind of like, I'm just trying to get past the 30 minutes, then hour. This day, this day's over. I can get 30 an hour, 2 hours, 3 hours, 4 hours of sleep. Boom. You know, and you're not even still in a fucking zen. You're not still hitting those rims. You're still you're in a constant, lack of a better freaking analogy, state of war.
Well, 100%. 110%, dude.
And this is as a kid. So now you go into real war with your fucking brothers. And you're going through some of the most intense fucking training that the military has.
Yeah.
And you got your brothers next to you that you have served in some real shit with. And that's what's pulling you through this thing. That's what's making you not quit.
Yeah. 100%. The fact that you finally have people that see value in you. Like, because even then, like, I didn't see myself or have any internal self-worth. Not at all. I don't think I started really valuing who I was. I didn't enjoy looking myself in the mirror until I went through my recovery, through my treatment. My entire adult life. The reason why relationships fail, the reason why my first marriage failed, is because I fucking absolutely hated who I was. Absolutely no redeeming quality. Nothing. I lived, normal people will be able to look at themselves as they're brushing their teeth or doing their hair. I fucking hated who I was. I didn't see any worth because I lived an entire life where I was being told you aren't worth anything. And that voice was still in my head. But when you're on a team, you can neglect it. You can put that in the back of your head, man. You're with the best. You're with America's fucking greatest. I'm not the fucking greatest Green Beret, but I've served with some fucking dudes that deserve to be on the cover of fucking Soldier of fucking Fortune. They deserve to be on fucking Hollywood movies. Some of the dudes are out there doing the Lord's work today that I've had the privilege to serve with, deserve to be fucking idolized, deserve to be looked at like fucking American fucking heroes, dude. And that's how I feel about it, because they really are that fucking good. They not only look the part, but they do the work. Everybody, if you watch, I've never watched fucking SEAL Team, not because I hate SEALs, but because it's overplayed. Fuck SEALs. Shout out to fucking David Boreanaz, or whatever his fucking name is. I did watch The Terminal List. Terminal List was really good. But was
he a SEAL?
Yeah.
Oh, fuck.
Yeah, that was a real good one. But you got to give SEAL shit. But when you're able to look at what you're part of, and you're willing to give it that power, like fuck, I'm part of this. I fucking made there was no like, okay, exception to policy. No, fuck no. That's the one thing I can fucking say and was proud of, to look back fondly and be able to say, okay, at least the abuse I went through, the trauma I went through couldn't take that away from me. So I worked my fucking dick off. Every fucking ruck, every fucking test. Fucking Bravo Committee is like not the easiest fucking. Everybody shits on 18 Bravos, weapons sergeants going through the Q course, because like, oh, big dumb Bravos. But you know what? It takes a lot of fucking discipline to fucking go through that. Going through any of the MOSs. Any of that.
Was there a point in time when you're going through, and this is the Green Beret qualification training, kind of like, and again, I only know Buds because I was in the Navy, but kind of like Buds.
It's like Buds, but harder.
So basically, he just called you guys pussies.
I will say this.
And for people who aren't listening, we're not fighting each other. This is actually terms of endearment. Yeah. I mean, this is how we relate. This is how we talk shit to each other. So was there a point though that you were broke, that you were like, I can't do this and I'm ready to quit?
No, quitting was not an option. Absolutely fucking not.
Not one
time. And I don't say that lightly. It was, there was challenges. That nearly broke my fucking ankle going into the last fucking patrol into SUT, which then meant that I went through SEER school with a fucked up foot and ankle and was just sucking it through. Like, that's hard. That's fucking hard. That shit sucks. But that's not like what I went through as a kid. Like, there's no option in me. There was no option for me. There was no quit. There was no plan B, because I wasn't going to go back to the 82nd. Now, I love my time in division. I love my time in the line infantry. But I can still say this. When you're not valued, when you see other people get promoted, when you see other fucking people get preferential treatment, okay, I know what that's like, dog. I'm not sitting around here. I don't have to lick your fucking boots. I'm going to go. And I saw that. Bye. And I saw that shit. And I remember the coldness in our command was, if you go to selection, you better pass. Don't fucking fail, because you come back here, we're sending you to the worst fucking assignment we can find. Cool.
No shit. That's just another motivator.
Across the fucking board. Every single person knew that if they didn't make it, they weren't going to be able to come back to their company, to their platoon. It wasn't going to be like, hey, welcome back. Let you train up. No, it was done. It was fucking done. Like, okay, cool. You better pass.
And they do not have 100% graduation rate
no.
of selection. I mean, it's probably 20% probably that make it.
Fuck,
if that, right?
Yeah.
So you have 100 guys and you get 20 of them that make it through the selection process. That tells you how grueling and how hard and how difficult.
And that's just the hello, welcome. You can come in and audition. That's just to get your fucking foot through the door. Like the Q course, selection, all that's harder. It's hard as fuck. It's meant to be. It's not supposed to be watered down. It's not supposed to be simple. It's supposed to challenge the fuck out of you. It's supposed to make
you back up.
Yeah, it's supposed to be one of those things like, okay, do you really want this? Because as soon as you graduate and you put that fucking little green hat on and you fucking high five your friends and you have a fucking great time downtown fucking Fayetteville partying out, going to Charlie Mike's and shit, then the real work begins. Then you fucking show up to a fucking company that's in an intensive training cycle and be, hey, guess what, dog? You're going to Afghanistan, or you're going to fucking Colombia, or you're going to Honduras, or you're going to fucking Thailand. This is when we're doing it. By the way, like, you got to do train up. You got new guy train up all from this week, and then you got to do range training. Like, oh, you're brand new Bravo? Great. Here's a training package. Or you're brand new Echo? Go figure out that fucking SDN, dog. 18 Charlie? Great. You got the next range, the next demo range. Like, it doesn't get easy. Any normal fucking training, any job you go, it's like HR's there to greet you. They high five you. They take a picture. Welcome to our organization. You know, it's posted on LinkedIn. That's not the way it is.
Our HR introduces us with the F-bomb.
Nah.
And like,
oh, there's HR.
What the fuck?
Yeah. It's your senior
Yeah.
Bravo.
Yeah.
That throws your shit out in the hallway and says, don't come in here unless we let you in. That's you. That's your HR.
This is why this training is so difficult, because what you guys are training for is absolute violence, and to face violence.
Not only that,
And to be that violence. And it's training you not to give the fuck up when you're out there,
Yeah.
because if you give up on the selection and the Q courses, how are you going to stay in the fight?
yeah. Not only that, but you have to remember, and people in the 20 years at war has not helped special forces, because you hear special forces and you think, oh, that's everybody. No. Special forces is Army, Special Forces, Green Berets. Special operations is the overbranching term. Special forces uniquely applies to Green Berets. What does that mean? You don't have just one fucking specialty, dog. You have to master the entire spectrum of fucking warfare. You got to be a fucking diplomat. You got to be an intelligent problem solver. You got to be the guy they go to for unconventional warfare, not just kicking doors, not just fucking doing direct action, not just doing recce. It's everything, fucking everything. And if you don't have that mindset going in that you're going to be learning for the next 20 to 30 years of your military career, like, you're fucked. It's not an easy thing. Like, I almost fucking killed myself over it. Literally, no. And not to brush over mental health issues and joke about it, but when something becomes all consuming, when it's your only thing, and that's the only thing that matters to you, and then you get physically injured, or you take on too many blast injuries, now you can't function. What are you to do after you've been working with some of the best in America has to offer, and you can't do it anymore? Do you want to go back to being a normal human being? No, I'd rather check out.
It's not even going back also, but it's, you get injured.
Yeah.
You retire, and the military says, thank you.
Yeah.
And then you're into this whole fucking world.
Yeah.
That we don't understand.
And then they mail you your retirement certificate and it's crumpled as fuck. What the fuck, dog?
Yeah. Oh, is that carrying? You know, yeah.
It's a real story.
I mean, I can only imagine just even the stories of how people, get their shit,
Yeah.
get in there. So you retired 20, or did you get medically retired?
No, I medically retired.
You got medically retired. So and again, I feel for you because I'm in the same boat as you, getting medically retired and having the structure and going through war. And now the war's over, right?
Yep.
And you left all that shit in Afghanistan and Iraq. Fucking wrong.
Yeah.
The war's over for you going there and deploying again. But now this is where the real war
Exactly.
starts.
This is the real, and that's every single service member. If you're out there in this and you're listening, the real war, the war you just got done fighting, was preparation. Preparation for the real war. The real war is inside. Now, if you do full term 20 years, you still have to fight that war. But if your service comes to an end because physically and mentally you can't continue, you have to start tackling that issue pronto. You're not going to have the 2 years of transition time, dog. If you're going through medical retirement, if you're going through a hard time, the first thing you have to do is realize you need help and you need to start transitioning mentally, because service was just a part of your life, wasn't everything. And that's what I found. That's after my last trip to Afghanistan, after dealing with the issues, my physical injuries, my mental health issues, that's what I realized. Like, I found myself at the end of my literally about to give up my own life, about to take my own life, because I can't deal with the pain. I can't deal with wearing this mask.
What pain are you talking about?
So
what pain are you exactly talking
physically,
about? We're not.
Physically, my feet, my back, my shoulders, my neck, everything was fucked.
Head to fucking toe.
Yeah.
Waking up in the morning,
in constant
getting
pain.
out of bed is a fucking feat.
Yeah.
You walk over, you're not getting and setting up. You're ninja rolling kind of out of bed, fat boy rolling yourself out of bed because of your fucking back.
You move too fast and your hip reminds you that it's no longer a normal hip. Like, I'd still freeze if I move wrong. Like, oh fuck. Yeah, dog. You have torn labrums. You have fucking degenerative disc disease. You've got no cartilage left in your left knee. You have to get injections of a fucking synthetic lubricant. Holy fucking shit. That's what I need to be able to walk and function. Nobody told me that when I was going through the Q course, that was going to be the reality. Nobody told me that I have to look at, okay, do you want to have the surgery now or 10, 15 years down the line? I'm like, the fuck? Maybe never. Can we just do that? Can we not do that? It's like, no, you're going to need it. And the nerve.
Yeah, and you're young.
Yeah.
And you're young. You're not 60 years old.
Yeah.
Going, I'm only going to have one or two of these. I'm good. You're young. You're 30.
Yeah, 38.
38, you know, and going through this physical pain. But there's more pain than just physical.
Oh, yeah, no.
You're also going through the mental pain.
The physical is easy because I can go, and this is the thing I want people to understand. You will find any way to stay on a team. You will find any fucking way to stay on a team, which means that I'm willing to take whatever injection, whatever painkiller you got to make it so I don't feel. They have this thing called Toradol. Horrible for your body, horrible for your endocrine system, horrible for every fucking organ in your body. But if you take it, oh fuck, it's like being a fucking, being a college athlete playing football for Nick Saban. I need you to play, so take this fucking Toradol. That's what I did my last 6 months in Afghanistan. Every fucking moment I was on my feet.
Because you don't feel the pain.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't care. I don't care if this might lead me to fucking bleed out on the battlefield. Give me the fucking, I need to be able to walk, dog. I need to be able to fucking function. And that's the beauty of it. I have access to that shit 24/7 while I'm deployed. I don't when I get back. And when I get back, now it's every waking moment I'm in misery, I'm in pain. We can give you some ibuprofen. But no, give me some fucking something else. Well, we can't do that. Or if they can, they give you shit that numbs you the fuck out completely. But
so how does that go into mentally though?
Oh, let me tell you.
So you're fucking going through this physical pain.
Yeah.
And they're giving you the medication.
Yeah. What I don't realize, and what none of us do, is when you're in a constant state of alert and pain, upregulation, you can't focus on anything else but that. You're a raw fucking nerve. But, well, you're not crawling. You're not in a wheelchair. You must be fine. Yeah, I'm a fucking Green Beret. I'm still wearing a uniform. I'm still doing the fucking Lord's work, dog. I'm not gonna fucking bow down to this. So I'm taking every surgery they'll give me. I'll fuck it. You can guarantee me I'll be able, because by that point, we don't know if Afghanistan's over. I'm like, yeah, fuck yeah, I'll do another surgery. Get me back 100%, or at least what I think is 100%.
You're never 100% after they cut you.
Yeah. And when they tell you things like, well, there's a 30% success rate, fuck it, let's do it. But then you don't even give yourself. I wasn't even willing to stay in bed for the recovery. I was like, fuck it, you got a cast, nothing's gonna move if it's in a cast. I can drive to work, I can do the office work, I can do the shit. I'm a warrant officer on the team, I gotta do this shit. And we normalized that culture. We high-five that. Fuck yeah, way to go.
Yeah, toughness, push through it.
Yeah, push through it.
Don't be a fucking pussy.
What they don't see
the
is
pain and the mental
I'm
anguish.
fucking trying to walk downstairs with a fucking foot that just fucking 48 hours ago was fucking split open on an operating table. Like, and this isn't like tiny little exploratory, like make a little slit. No, this motherfucker like slash your fucking foot open to fucking cut this fucking band in the bottom of your feet and reconnect it and cut out these fucking goddamn talons that you're growing in your fucking heel. And let's figure out why your fat pad's fucked. Yeah, let's figure out why all this shit's all fucked up. Oh, go figure. Poking around in a couple hours isn't going to solve everything. So then you're grasping at straws. What about platelet, plasma treatment, all this shit? And it's like, all that shit costs money, dog. And guess what? Uncle Sam just isn't going to spend it on you.
Nope.
Fuck.
You're broke.
So it's like, cool, I just got to deal with pain. Maybe I can numb it with alcohol. Maybe I can just numb it with whatever I can find. Cool, it's fine. It's fine.
And all the fucking pills they will give.
Everything.
It's like a candy shop.
Bro.
It is.
And then cognitively, I'm declining. I can't remember how to get home. I'm fucking can't fucking read something for longer than like, if I read the top of a page, by the time I got to the bottom of the page, I'd forgotten the contents of that page. So I would just highlight everything. And I'm trying to do my normal job on a detachment as the warrant officer, as the continuity of the team. I'm trying to do it with, 30% brain capacity. I'm carrying around fucking 5 different notebooks at one point, and like a fucking child writing down everything verbatim. Okay, I need like all my passwords and shit. I need to have this book for my personal shit. I need to remember this. Alarms, fucking, what did that go off? What did I have to do at that point? Like, I cannot function, but I have to lie and put on a mask like I'm able to function so that people don't see
you're
it.
the fucking leader.
Not only that,
they look
but
up to you.
Like, I think that I'm doing a good job. I think that I'm able to keep it together. Meanwhile, motherfuckers are like, dude, did you get that email from Chief? That motherfucking thing is like missing words, dog. It's like, it's I can't even read it. I don't understand what's going on with this dude. So finally things get to the point where, okay, I can't keep this. Like, I can't keep doing this. Like, I'm fucked up. Like, I need to figure out, at least get some answers. And I go see, started seeing a neuropsychologist, start taking all the tests, which is like fucking 7 hours of testing. And the result is a guy telling you that you're not even at the baseline for normal people. You're fucking, it's like that moment in Forrest Gump. It's like, Mrs. Gump, Forrest is right here. And it's like, holy fuck. And it's just like your world starts to fall the fuck apart. Here is a professional doctor that just did all this testing with you. And he's telling you things like, hey, you're cognitively not where adults should be. Like, here's where you're at. Here's the deficit. It's like, Jesus fucking Christ. Okay, so I can't be a Green Beret anymore. I can't do what I set out to do. Like, what am I? Who am I? What the fuck am I doing? I'm mentally fucking done. And he's trying to reassure me, like, no. You don't understand. Like, you guys are different. Like, you'll figure out ways, and you develop little pathways to get over things. You develop different tools to use to keep yourself from fucking forgetting, or you find ways to make it happen. I'm like, I don't want to fucking hear this, dude. You're telling me that I don't have. It's like, looking at your history, your trauma, the TBI you've gone through, like, you're done. You're fucking done. I'm like, no, I'm not. And there was a whole bunch of other things that are going on at the same time. My left eye isn't focusing. I remember doing one of our first ranges back from Afghanistan. We were at the indoor baffle range and we're shooting, and I can't focus my left eye. Like, I'm like, whoa, what the fuck is this? And I walk outside and it's like transition from indoor lighting to outdoor lighting. It's fucking me up real bad. I'm starting, what I always said were headaches. I'm like, I'm just getting a lot of headaches. I'm just having a lot more headaches than usual. They're migraines. And they're migraines that are set off by poor lighting. That's why a lot of times when I'm doing my own podcast, I don't have the shitty light on. I still need to change it, but we'll get to that later. But all these things, I don't inherently know that my body is setting off alarms. It's setting off like warning signs. You're fucking downtrending bad, bro. You need help. I'm not noticing any of this because we just get told to suck it up and move on. Like, oh, I'll just keep walking with it. I'll be fine. The pain eventually numbs out. I'm fine. Until you start getting help and you start talking to professionals and they're like, holy fucking shit, dude. Like, you're in for a world of fucking hurt. And I'm not paying attention to anything they're saying. All I want is to get back to doing my job. And then finally I get to the point where I'm like, you know what? I'm never going to be normal. I'm never going to be able to do my job like I was able to do it before. I'm just going to end this. And I knew I was going to fucking do something stupid. And
so your solution to your declining mental and physical health was like, yeah, all right, I know the solution to this.
Yeah.
And that solution is?
Bro, and this is how bad I'd gotten. I volunteered to go to a resiliency training seminar. And I'm listening to the lady talk about all the warning signs about when somebody's about to commit suicide. And I'm just like, nobody knows because we put on a mask. I'm here actively thinking of ways that I'm going to do this. And I just remember I was looking at the other individual that was there with me. And I was like, man, I just wish this fucking dude would ask me if I'm okay. Like, if this dude asked me, I tell him today, I tell him right now, fucking, I'm done. Like, but then the other part of you is just like, no, man. Like, no, the stigma, the fact that people will look down upon you. No, fuck that. Go out while you're high. Go out.
And your military career will be fucking over.
My only saving grace was that my wife was about to deploy and I married somebody that just absolutely fucking loved me, loved everything about me, loved me for my flaws. She didn't marry me because I was some fucking awesome, great America's best. Like, she saw me for who I was and was willing to buy damaged goods. And I just remember thinking like, this would fucking destroy her. Like, this would fucking destroy my wife. Like, I'm not doing this. And I reached out. I finally reached out for help. And when I talked to my the therapist at P3, that's our psychological like care team up at 7th Group, I remember sitting down with her finally and saying, I need help. I need something serious. And it was like finally like I get, it's almost as if the entire staff was just waiting outside, waiting for me to say, I need to go to a treatment center. And as soon as those words came out of my mouth, she's like, we got it. We have that. It's too easy. We can get you there. Like, we can get you the help you deserve. And it's like, I need to go soon. I need to go. I have a plan. I have an idea. And if my wife's not home, this is going to go down. And the moment that I finally said that and had that moment of vulnerability, that set the mechanism in place to fucking get me to Laurel Ridge. And that's a place I credit to saving my life. And that's why I am such a big advocate for sending guys to Laurel Ridge, because it did. It gave me the first inkling of an idea that I was something greater than that Green Beret. The life cycle of a team is short. 4 or 5 years, that whole entire team will be filled with brand new people. But team sergeant, maybe a little longer. The warrant officer would definitely be there for around 4 or 5 if he's lucky. But the people you love, people you care about, your teammates are going to be there for you regardless. And the mechanism doesn't need you. It doesn't need you. It will replace you. The moment they find a younger, more capable warrant officer, team sergeant, 18 Bravo, that's nature of the beast. That's the natural progression. And you shouldn't want to just stay there because That's how, stagnant teams get worse. Like, you should look for progression. You should look to leave the team when the time's right. But I couldn't see that at my worst. I was just so desperate to stay within that community, to stay in that team. I had worked so fucking hard to get there, and I didn't want to lose that. I was willing to just end my life so that it ended with what I thought was the greatest moment. In reality, it's not. I've got so much more to do. I've got so much more. And that's what you figure out once you start getting healthy. You figure out that, like, yeah, that was a great chapter. That was a great period in my life. But that was just a small fraction of what I'm capable of doing. It's just a small, like, I get to put that on the shelf. I get to put that on the shelf and say, I did that. What's next?
That's just part of defining who you are.
Yep.
It's not who you are totally. It's
No.
defining portion, a small portion of
A
defining who
small
you
aspect.
are and your legacy.
Yeah.
And the fact that you had a wonderful wife to keep by your side and stay with you through the thick and thin, that is amazing.
Oh, yeah.
And it's amazing that you can credit that relationship with her.
But
Now,
I want to make this completely 100% known, because I see this as a scapegoat with a lot of guys. Well, your wife stayed. Yeah. But I was also finally an active and willing participant in my own fucking recovery, my own safety, like a seer environment. You fucking get shot down, or you get fucking lost out there with the enemy, and you're fucking trying to evade. That seer plan of action doesn't mean shit unless the guy on the ground is an active participant in his own fucking recovery. You got to be willing to say, I don't want to fucking kill myself. I don't want to drink myself to death. I don't want to fucking take these pills until I overdose. You have to be a willing participant and be part of your own great fucking rescue. The greatest rescue mission that any of us can ever take on is our own. Because it truly has to come from within. I can't force you to go get help. I can't force you to go to treatment center. I can't fucking pull you to save your life, but you can.
And ladies and gentlemen, war is fucking hell when you're over there and you're living it. But war is also fucking hell when you get home and reliving it and trying to survive that war. What people don't understand is our loved ones are going through the fucking war at home. And we don't even know it, that we're putting them through that. Not saying because we're telling them about the experiences, but they're living vicariously through the trauma that we have gone through. And in turn, it's creating a situation and a war within them. And if that person who had been over there and went to war is not recovering and actively trying to recover, that person who is by their side, who's going through that same war that they're going through at home, they're going to leave because it's also part of their mental health. You can't get it enough. You can't say it enough. I can't say it enough. Guys, you're not alone. The reason we go through this, it's going to be something greater. Ending our life, I don't know why we go down this road of thinking the best solution is ending our lives. I don't know why. I'm on a journey to discover that. Because, and this isn't just talking about war. We're talking about personal lives. We're talking about relationships. We're talking about people losing jobs or a business, or a child. There's different aspects of war. And going through that is great. It's so difficult. But the recovery is amazing. And the people you can help out during the recovery and after recovery, it's truly a blessing. So she stood by your side, and now you're going through recovery. Now you're getting to be the Denny.
Yeah, and it doesn't happen overnight. It doesn't happen overnight. And this is
fucking work.
Yeah,
There's no pill. There's no one session. This is a lifestyle change you have to go through.
But all it takes is getting in front of the right doctor and the right care team to spark that drive to recover, that drive to get better. It sparked something within me that, it was groundbreaking. not only to be able to divulge finally all the trauma from my deployments, all the trauma from my childhood, but going through everything, going through every fucking method of treatment that they would offer, and being willing to participate, being willing to go through it, because some of it's painful, some of it sucks, but it's worth it, because on the other side is who you really are. And I got to the point where I was sitting there in that hospital room and I didn't know who the fuck I was. You peel back the layer, peel everything back, and you're like, fuck, I don't have any hobbies. I don't know what I really like. Everything I could do to numb pain or to escape was what I thought was a hobby. I never did anything for the enjoyment of something, for the pleasure of doing something. I would try to do things, but then I gave up with it, or I would stop doing it because I didn't think I was worthy of having fun. That's a crazy thought, right?
Wow, that is fucking crazy.
Like I'm not worthy of doing this. I would, you know, I used to love being on the water, love fishing, but I would get to the point where I wouldn't allow myself to have that enjoyment. I don't deserve that. I need to go back home, find something to do.
So did you fight these with pills or with alcohol? Or how did you feed, or how did you numb the addiction, or how did you numb the pain?
Honestly,
you just put it in an apartment and you didn't even think about it.
My biggest thing was trying to ignore as soon as anything came up, any emotion, any real, because for the longest time, I didn't really understand emotions. I knew anger, happy, and depression. Like that's all I really felt. I could feel, and like there were moments in times where I would just be super depressed. I didn't know it was depression. I just knew like, oh, just life sucks, but I'll just got to put on this mask when I go to work, and then I can just go hide in my depression cave. So anytime anything became too emotionally overbearing, I put it down. I just buried it away, or I created conflict in my life. That's the other thing that I was really good at. I'm having a shitty day because I'm thinking about something that reminded me of something painful. I'll take it out. I'll take it out. I'll find a reason to be angry. I'll find a reason to be fucking angry, because I don't want to talk about why I'm really angry and frustrated. I'll create friction in my life. Sadly, that was in my romantic relationships. My first marriage was a victim of that. I felt that I was a piece of shit. I felt that I was a horrible person. Thereby, if you love me, then you're a horrible person too. Or my absolutely...
That's a victim mentality.
Yeah. My absolute favorite one that I had for a long time was, I don't know how to tell you that I love you, and I'm afraid of you leaving for a trip or a vacation, or I'm about to go on a deployment. So I'm going to create conflict. I'm going to create some sort of point of friction so we can have that moment of reconciliation and like the honeymoon phase. Did all the fucking time. Oh, fuck, this train up is coming up. I don't want to be away from my wife. Fuck, let me start an argument. Because if I start an argument, I know eventually we'll get to the point where we make up, and then we have that romantic thing, and then we leave on a happy note. I'm like, oh, I love you. I'm going to miss you so much. Why do we do that? Why do we do that? Why do we cause ourselves so much stress, so much pain? Because we don't really know our feelings. We're not emotionally intelligent. We don't know how to talk about things. I didn't for all of my life until 37, 38. Like, I remember so many things come back and just flood you with like that memory of like, oh, remember when you did this? Like, look at that. Try to deep dive those situations, be like, holy fuck, how lost was I? Just constantly trying to find ways to have conflict because I didn't know how to communicate and express myself like emotionally. And that's a sad reality that a lot of us find ourselves in, because we never had emotional intelligence as a you know, a point of instruction, a POI. Military doesn't do that.
No, hell no. Come here, let me hold your hand. Let me give you a big fucking hug.
But that's the thing. We always see it through that framework, right? We say we see things like, oh, it's being docile, weak, soft. But let me tell you something. On the other side of this, on this side of things, it takes far more strength to be kind, far more strength, far more manly, masculine energy to be a positive, kind influence to somebody that's coming up to you with their angst and their anger and their distorted view of the world. That's the beauty of it. Like
it's easy to be angry.
100%.
Easy to be pissed off. It's easy to relive trauma and anything like that. And it's easy to give you that excuse to, I can't do this today because of what happened to me yesterday.
Yeah.
That's the easiest way out. It takes work to be the positive person.
Yep.
But being that person, being that positive person, that positive outlook, the love and the lust for life, greater outweighs.
And it's understanding too that it's okay to have bad days. It's okay to feel melancholy. It's okay to feel anger. It's okay to feel jealous. It's not okay to let your emotions control you, to let it manifest in a way that now you're not able to have a conversation with somebody. All those feelings are normal, everyday part of the human existence, my man. Like that stuff is part of us, is deeply ingrained in humans. We're emotional and logical creatures. And we have to be willing to understand both, because within that, there's the freedom of understanding that, like, oh man, I'm not angry, I'm anxious. Why am I anxious? Oh, I'm going on a podcast today, talk about some really traumatic things. I overcame them though. Maybe I'll help somebody with that. And that anxiety just washes away to that positivity, into that feeling of hope, that feeling of somebody out there will hear my story. Somebody out there will hear and find commonality in my struggle. And without ever meeting somebody, there's a bond connected. And somebody can say, you know what, if that guy can do it, I can do it too. I can go get help. I deserve that. I'm a human being. I am of value. I am of worth. I deserve to get better. And that all comes from having emotional intelligence. And you don't get that if you continue down the same road. If you continue, because we're not going to learn these things from our angry, equally negative platoon sergeant friend that we retired out of the military. These things come through us through the readings of Dr. Kristen Neff, Brene Brown, our therapist, our treatment team. We don't value academia as much as we need to. And it's okay. It's okay to say, hey, I was a fucking dumb grunt for a long time. It's cool. It's fine. But now I want to be better. And if I have to, there's nothing cooler than saying, you know what? I'm going to science the fuck out of this problem. I'm going to go to the people that can help me. I'm going to start talking to people that can give me the resources. I have read more in the last 2 years of my life than I ever did growing up. Like, you can't see all the bookshelves. Like, you can only see a fraction. And it's not because it's like, oh, I have to read this to figure. It's because I have a passion for it. Because I was never afforded the opportunity to say that I'm worth investing time and energy. It's okay for me to learn these things. It's not relegated to somebody else. I can be smart. I can be artistic. I deserve to have that inquisitive nature to be able to read things and understand, like, wow, okay, like this makes sense. This is why I felt this way. Like, there's nothing more powerful than being able to connect with a professional, have them help you, walk you through your treatment, and then say, hey, can you recommend something that I can read at home to keep me on my path? Yeah, X, Y, and Z. Like, you're a modern day fucking Indiana Jones. Like, the whole world's open to you, man. Like, all you have to do is start asking questions and digging for yourself. You'll find things like meditation, mindfulness. I found all those things because I was willing to be an active, willing participant with my treatment team and ask questions. And then those questions lead me to search out books and search out modalities I didn't even know existed. Like, we're just now talking about psychedelics. Like, shit.
Well, I was going to touch on that. And I want your top. You need to email me your top 5 favorite books.
Okay.
Or if you can spit them out, man.
Okay.
What's your top 5 favorite books that helped you?
The Body Keeps a Score by Vander Van is very, 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 very foreign last name. Brene Brown's Atlas of the Heart. Self-Compassion, Kristen Neff. Waking the Sleeping Tiger. Wherever you go, there you are by Jon Kabat-Zinn. That is easily one of the most influential books because that's my first step into mindfulness. But it's a little deep. So if you need to, you can start with Mindfulness for Beginners by Jon Kabat-Zinn. That's another one that I highly recommend. And The Diary of Marcus Aurelius, Meditations, or the Stoics, the Daily Stoic. But even more so, I'll give you a few more really small ones to digest. The Epic of Gilgamesh. And here's why. And anybody listening is like, what the fuck is this dude talking about? The Epic of Gilgamesh. Here's why. Every last one of us, if you were in the military, and especially if you chose an MOS like infantry or went in the SOF, at some point in life, the hero myth, the hero's journey drew you in. I needed to understand that from like, what was the first epic? What was the first fucking, the Iliad, the Odyssey, all that, go way, way back, go to the Epic of Gilgamesh, and you realize all these stories have the same themes and they all have the same underwritten tones. And it's always, the hero's quest is to fucking find something within himself. It's always about helping somebody else. Always is, the great hero myth that we have now been fed with every Marvel fucking movie that gets put out is that you need some fucking special power or some fucking MacGuffin thing that's out there that's going to give you some specialties. But really and truly, it's all within you. Everything that you need is within you.
We all have the special power.
You have to see it. You have to truly believe it. I didn't see it for the longest time, and sometimes it's sad, but really, honestly, I'm grateful for it. I'm grateful that I finally have that understanding that I don't need some fucking great wise wizard to bestow fucking powers. No, fuck Shazam. Like, that dude doesn't hold a fucking candle to me. Like, fuck that. Like, I'm the fucking hero of my own fucking journey. Nobody else came in here.
That's it.
And there's great people that helped me get here. And just like there's great people that are going to help you in your journey. But at the end of the fucking day, you're the one that's doing the work. Give yourself the recognition for that. If you're recovering
from...
don't
forget to recognize other people too, like your wife.
Yeah. But at the end of the day, nobody can do that work for you. We can say that I'm doing it for my wife, and don't do that. Don't do that.
Don't do it for you.
Don't say that you're doing it for your wife, for your kids. You got to do it for you. And at the end of the day, give love and respect to everybody that's helped you. But take a step back and acknowledge the hard work you did. It takes a lot to put down drinking. It takes a lot to put down pills. It takes a lot to walk away from a career that's fucking crushing you and destroying you. It takes a lot to be able to walk into that therapist's office and say, I need help. So give yourself some fucking props, dog, because fuck, no one can do it but you.
That you hit the nail on the head, man. So you and your wife doing great, right?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
That's awesome, dude. So tell me about after. Now you got the fucking Denny Caballero, and I think I fucking butchered your name because I suck at saying.
It's all right, man.
names.
It's all right. People always go deny, and I'm like, hey. It's like Key and Peele skit. hey, Ron. It's like it's Danny. It's Danny Caballero, but it's okay.
So now you're doing great, man, and you're blowing this shit up on the back end because you're healthy, and your mission now is helping other people going through the traumatic events.
So fucking absolutely. Connecting that bridge from mental health care to the veteran or active duty service member. We're that connective tissue. Security Halt. It started out as just a podcast. Now it's Security Halt Media because we got more than one podcast. We've got another one in production, and we blog. We have online magazine that we're publishing now. Like we're not happy with just reaching one or two people. The more endeavors we take, the more things we take under our belt, and it's empowering to realize that the same things that made you a strong leader in the military are the same things that are going to make you a strong vet entrepreneur or a strong civilian employee out in the real world. You bring all those great things. And the number one thing that you have to remember is keep asking why. Keep asking why. Like, why can't I do that? If others can do it, why not me? Like, okay, what does it take to create a podcast? Oh, it's not for people like you. Why? Why can't I just fucking start doing my own thing? I'm not beholden to any human being. I'm not contracted to anybody. I don't owe anything. If I want to go out there and put something beautiful and productive and uplifting in the world, I'm going to fucking do it. Our veterans, our active duty service members, our first responders deserve the absolute best. And that means that we have to have advocacy. It means that we have to have people that are willing to do the fucking legwork to bring out that information. Because I know a lot of guys don't want to read a book about self-compassion. A lot of guys don't want to hear that, hey, go to mindfulleader.org and take a course on mindfulness. But if I use my military humor, if I use my advocacy work and I put it in front of you and I start asking those questions and you start asking them, maybe you will take that course. I cannot tell you the amount of people that have reached out and been like, I never thought about getting help until I saw and heard your podcast. And our earliest content was pretty rough. It still is. I don't care. But the message gets across and people take something away from it. Like, we're able to reach people that are exactly where I was at when I didn't have anybody. I didn't have somebody advocating to go to a mental health institute. Nobody was telling me like, hey, you are worth something. You matter to me, because as men, we don't do that. We need to. If I'm willing to fucking die next to you and I'm willing to fucking go to combat with you, I should be completely fine in saying, dude, I love you and I want you to come to me if you're feeling any type of way. You matter to me, and I think you're drinking too much. And if you are willing to go dry for 30 days, I'll go dry for 30 days. We won't drink. Let's see how we feel if we quit drinking. There's two things that are plaguing us right now as veterans, and that's drug and alcohol abuse. And we're not willing to talk about where it begins. And that's while we're still in the rank and file. And we're not talking about marijuana. We're talking about alcohol, liquor, and we're talking about pills because it's easy available. But we're not willing to talk about it and bring things up to people. I can't tell you the amount of interventions I've started or have been able to be a part of, blessed, all simply because of podcasts. Hey, man, you've dealt with this before. You might talk to me and my friend. Yeah, dude, fuck yeah. Where do you live? If you're really close, bro, I got a Tesla. If I can charge it, I'm there. Like, let's go. Let's fucking do this. Because while we've been at war for the last 20 years, while all of us brave, wonderful, honorable men and women have been gone doing horrible things in name of doing good for others, a lot of things have been left undone. There's a lot of work to be done. There's a lot of things that need to be, there are a lot of wrongs that need to be righted in this country. And I feel that I don't know how to write it, but I know the people that can are veterans. I'm not going to be able to solve these issues. I'm really good at mediating. I'm really good about bringing the information out there. But I think the answers lie within our veteran community and our active duty service members. I'm not this great, wise, all-knowing person, but anytime I've needed the answer, it's always been in somebody that's fucking certain. We have such an amazing community of individuals that are fucking brilliant. And we need them to transition properly and get back into the civilian workplace to make things better. Like, we really want to return to a better functioning country. We need to pour into our veterans. And that's the truth.
I agree. I couldn't agree more, man. I mean, we can do a lot of great things, man, with a voice.
Yes.
And a story. And we can relate more to people and have them come out and say something and saying, I need help.
Yeah.
If I don't get help, I'm going to be dead.
Yeah.
And that's why we have these platforms, and that's why we have these reasons, and that's why we strive for what we do.
Yeah.
So we can save a life, because there's nothing more beautiful than saving somebody else from themselves.
Yeah. And then for us to continue down our own path, whatever modalities, whatever works for us, keep going. There's no such thing as, there's a great myth that once you get treatment, you're fine. High five, you're done. No, it's every day, man.
No,
you build an amazing team of people that are there to support you in your healing and your recovery with amazing modalities. And I do them every single friggin' day.
I have an analogy. Our mental health is like a hot rod. When it's running and it's perfect, and you don't think there's any maintenance that needs to be done to it, no. You still need to wash it. You still need to clean it.
Yep.
There's maintenance always that needs to be done on it. It's the time when it's not running perfectly is the time when you really got to dive into that help and to get help, and not be afraid to say, hey, I need some help. I'm going through another transition in my life that I need help. And as you know, you've heard me, you've heard my story.
Yeah.
There's always a time that you need help. You know what I mean? And there's going to be another time in your life that needs help.
Yeah.
While it's running smoothly, yep, you don't need to go to the therapist every week. You don't need to check in somewhere every month, whatever the case may be. But there might be that time it comes back again. You get that flat tire, that immobilizing engine problem,
Pit stop. Yeah.
Pit stop.
Yeah.
Get help, man. Put it in the shop, man. Let's put it in the shop. Let's tune this bad boy back up to get it back on the road, run it great again. Where can we find you? So first of all, hold on. Before I say that, you're a mindfulness coach.
Yes.
And host and creator of Security Halt podcast, which is a fucking fantastic podcast. Make sure you're hitting his like button and make sure you're following him as well.
Yeah.
You're the host of, or co-host of the ILG podcast.
Yep.
What does ILG stand for?
So that's the beauty of having our segmented podcasts now, because we have an entire crew of hilarious dudes, and it's a disservice to try to squeeze everything under the Security Halt brand, because some of the stuff doesn't fit in there. There's a lot of veteran and service member humor that you're going to get from ILG. And the beauty of it is like any other acronym in the military. You can get one person that says it's one thing and the other person says it's another. ILG stands for ILG, man. ILG will be, one day it's I love grandpa. The other day is I love Gooch. We don't know. We don't know. It's a funny thing that me and my former 18 Fox, Eric, now one of the co-hosts, we just came up with the name one day when I was drinking a coffee mug, that it's just like, oh, I love grandpa. Yeah, that's it. ILG. So it's more of a comedic, more of a lighthearted ramblings of vets and active duty service members. They're just having a good time.
Fuck, I love that, man.
Yeah.
Internal love guru.
Yeah. There you go. It can be whatever you want it to be.
That's fucking fantastic, dude. Denny, this isn't going to be the last time you're on this show, buddy.
I hope not.
So I ask this question, and I'm not going to ask you this question. I am going to tell you why I think you're a badass. It takes a true man to stand up, to understand that I am no longer a victim to something that happened to me in the past. I'm a survivor. The journey in my road to being a survivor isn't only helping myself, but inspirationally helping other people. Building that resilience and the dedication and love for our service members, and to get them to where they need to go so they also can love themselves, makes you a badass. Your your undenying love for this country are men and women that have fought and continue to fight the war that is over in Iraq and Afghanistan, but the war that is still going on inside them. And people need people like you to desperately stand up and say what we are doing is not right. We need help. And being that voice makes you a fucking badass. Denny, I cannot thank you enough. And I can't thank enough that I had the privilege to meet you at the Military Influence Conference and call you a brother, man.
Yeah, thank you so much. That was amazing. Likewise, man. It's amazing how fast you can connect with somebody at a giant friggin' place like the MIC. But man, like I tell you, you got a brother in me as well. Whatever you guys, whatever you need, man, we got you.
I appreciate it, man. So we can find Security Halt Podcast where?
Everywhere. We're literally everywhere. Spotify, iTunes, friggin' Amazon, Podbean, wherever you can get a podcast, you can find us. Or you can just go to our website, securityhalt.com, and you can get it right there. And also find lots of other mental health resources and lots of cool swag too. So if you are looking for a great blog, great resources, securityhalt.com, or just tune into our podcast. And if you allow me to, let me make this shameless plug. We do a peer-to-peer support group every Thursday night from 7 p.m. Central to 8 p.m. Central Standard Time. It's every Thursday. You can go to our website and sign up there. And you don't have to have your camera on. You don't have to participate the first time. You can just listen. But with our peer-to-peer support group, what we aim to give you is a break from your negative echo chamber. I know what it was like. We surround ourselves with the same opinions all day. And a lot of them aren't always saying positive things about getting help. When you dial into our support group, you're either going to get one person, two people, three people, but it's always going to be a positive voice that's there to help, that's there to give options and let you vent in a positive atmosphere. That's not just going to tell you to just go out there and throw a grunt style shirt on and go get drunk.
Dude, that gave me absolutely cheers. I mean, chills down my back. Like I'm still tingling from what you just said. That's amazing, man. And thank you for everything that you're doing again, man. And I appreciate it. Denny Caballero, my man, my brother. I can't wait to see you again. And I got to come out to Florida sometime, dude.
Oh, yeah, man. You always got a place here.
Awesome, man. Take care, dude.
We'll see you.
If you have a heroic story and you'd like to share it, get in contact with us. Our information's in the bio. Also, don't forget to hit the subscribe, like, and share. And then I'll see you on the next episode, badasses.